The date is September 1st, 2022. The Houston Astros are well on their way to locking up the number 1 seed in the American League and winning the AL West. The starting pitching rotation is deep, it's filthy, it's nasty. Led by the eventual AL Cy Young that year in Justin Verlander. Followed by Framber Valdez, Christian Javier, Lance McCullers Jr., rounded off with Luis Garcia and Jose Urquidy. So essentially, the Astros have way more than enough starting pitching in their starting rotation to get them to the playoffs. But there's a problem. Verlander goes down. It's just a leg injury. He'll only be out for a few weeks. And what do the Astros do to cover up that roster spot? Well, they call up the best pitcher in the minor leagues, if not one of the best, in Hunter Brown. Cue Hunter's first start. Against the woeful Texas Rangers, Hunter Brown would go out and have himself an electric start to his career. A start in which we would see him go 6 innings, give up 3 hits, no runs, and strike out 5. Now, as somebody who actually saw Hunter Brown in his first start against the Rangers that day, I can tell you that stadium was a little bit raucous. As he completed the 6th inning and was walking off the mound, the crowd gave him a standing ovation. And what does Hunter Brown do? Well, he follows that game up with another spectacular outing. Hunter would go out and make his next start against the Detroit Tigers, going 6 innings, giving up 5 hits and only 2 runs and 6 punch-outs. And so his career began in 2022 and ended the same way that it started, with him and the Houston Astros winning the World Series. And in that playoff run, Hunter Brown would actually make some good contributions to the team, pitching 3 2/3 innings, giving up 2 hits and no runs. Hunter Brown's been showing the league what he's made of, what he was doing in the minors. A nasty high velo 4-seam fastball, topped off by one of, if not the highest velocity sliders in the league. In fact, the velocity was so high on it last year that in 2022, he actually had one of the highest recorded velocity sliders on his pitch. Hunter has been generating a lot of buzz around him and hype around him between the fans and experts in the Houston sports market because of exactly how nasty his stuff is, and him having an actual upside to be an actual ace of many teams in the league further in his career. Hunter Brown actually modeled a lot of himself from his windup to his delivery to his pitching arsenal off of his hero, Justin Verlander. And as we all know, Justin Verlander departed the Astros this offseason and went to the Mets. And so what that does is that opens up a starting pitching spot for somebody else in this rotation to step up. The thought around the clubhouse is that the Astros go into this season with a 5-man rotation, and the hope is that Lance McCullers Jr. can actually stay healthy for a majority of the season. And those hopes were quickly dashed in the start of spring training. Lance would once again get hit with the injury bug. So once again, this gives Hunter Brown and a few other pitchers some opportunities in spring training to get some much needed innings of work. The big question around Hunter is if he is ready to actually start in this league yet, to be a part of a major league rotation for a long season. And if he is, what do his numbers look like? What can you expect from the guy? Look, I'd be a liar if I said I expected Hunter Brown to come out here and get 20 wins and pitch to a sub-3 ERA. The kid's stuff is electric. That 4-seam fastball, that slider, and the curveball that he mixes in there, it's all nasty. But you got to separate your fandom from your realism. So originally, before Lance McCullers Jr. went down, it was thought that Hunter Brown would be starting in the bullpen this season. But since Lance has went down, there's still questions about if he'll be ready for opening weekend. Hunter Brown may get his start here or there during the first month of the season. And also, on the other side, can the health of this starting rotation, this 5-man, hold up for most of the season? Obviously, the biggest known worry is Lance McCullers in that starting rotation. If someone were to get injured in the middle of the season or the end of the season, Hunter Brown would definitely be slotted in there for their replacement. But also, if the Astros go to a 6-man rotation for most of the year, if the Astros were to go to a 6-man rotation, I can see Hunter Brown having somewhere between 22 and 25 starts, 130 to 150 innings pitched. A sub 3.5, 3.4 ERA would probably be around the place I put him, with about 100 and 150 strikeouts, and between 11 and 15 wins, especially with the offense that he's going to have behind him, and also where he'll be in that starting rotation. If he's the 4th or the 5th spot in that starting rotation, he's going to have a lot of chances to rack up some wins against other ball clubs' 4th and 5th string starting pitchers. But like I said, I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to 2 things: the health of the starting rotation, and if Dusty and that front office want to push this to a 6-man rotation. We've seen it in the past few years when the Astros do go to a 6-man rotation, they have a lot of success with it. It helps shave down a lot of innings off of some of these arms for the postseason pushes and keeps these guys a little bit more fresh for the postseason when they make those runs. My expectations are that Hunter Brown will get at least between 10 and 15 starts this year. And yes, I would expect him to hit his rookie wall if he gets anywhere between 15 and 22 starts this season. The Astros do just about as good of a job as any other organization when it comes to allowing pitching talent to develop. giving them the time, the space, and the tools that they need to get better and better progressively each year. But I would love to know what y'all think in the comment section down below. What are your opinions on Hunter Brown? Give me your guesses on what his numbers will look like. And as always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new, because I have plenty more baseball content like this, and I will see you all in the next one. Adios, mis amigos!